High-profile criminal investigations are often the subject of intense media coverage, public scrutiny, and sometimes sensationalized theories. These investigations involve some of the most infamous crimes in history and captivate the public's imagination due to their complexity, high stakes, and often shocking twists. But behind the scenes, the work of law enforcement and investigators is far more methodical, strategic, and meticulous than most people realize. Today, we'll uncover the secrets behind these investigations, revealing the techniques, challenges, and breakthroughs that help solve some of the world's most infamous criminal cases. How science solves crimes. Forensic science has become the backbone of modern criminal investigations. In high-profile cases, investigators often rely heavily on forensic evidence to solve crimes, especially when there are few or no witnesses. Whether it's DNA analysis, fingerprinting, or ballistic tests, forensic evidence has been the key to unraveling many complex criminal cases. One of the most famous examples is the O.J. Simpson trial. In 1994, Simpson was accused of murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. Despite the overwhelming forensic evidence, including DNA found at the crime scene, the defense team famously coined the phrase, "If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit." This strategy, combined with other factors like Simpson's celebrity status, led to an acquittal, but forensic evidence remains a crucial tool in criminal investigations to this day. More recently, forensic genealogy has proven revolutionary in solving cold cases. Investigators now use publicly available genetic data, like that from 23andMe or Ancestry.com, to match DNA from crime scenes to family trees. This method was famously used to identify the Golden State Killer, Joseph DeAngelo, who terrorized California for decades before his arrest in 2018. Forensic evidence, when properly analyzed and used, can be the deciding factor in high-profile investigations and has brought justice to many victims who otherwise might never have seen closure. The role of surveillance. In high-profile cases, surveillance footage often plays a significant role in solving the crime. From security cameras in public places to private cameras inside stores, homes, or even on personal devices, surveillance footage helps investigators track suspects, corroborate testimonies, and piece together the timeline of events. One notable case where surveillance was critical was the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. After 2 bombs exploded near the finish line, killing 3 people and injuring hundreds more, investigators used an extensive network of public and private surveillance cameras to track down the suspects, Tamerlan and Takhar Tsarnaev. Their identification was made possible by piecing together footage from various sources, such as security cameras from nearby businesses and a social media post from a spectator. Surveillance footage also played a pivotal role in the Terre Haute, Indiana, case involving the kidnapping of a young girl, Anya Blanchard, in 2019. After viewing surveillance footage from a gas station, investigators were able to track down the suspect, Ibrahim Yazid, who was ultimately apprehended. Surveillance technology continues to evolve, making it easier for law enforcement to track suspects and solve cases. However, the ethical considerations of privacy are an ongoing debate, especially when public surveillance footage is used to track individuals without their knowledge or consent. Understanding the criminal mind. Criminal profiling, though often seen in TV shows and movies, is a real and vital tool used by investigators in high-profile cases. By studying the crime scene, victimology, and the behavior of the suspect, criminal profilers attempt to create a psychological profile of the perpetrator. Profilers attempt to predict the suspect's personality, age, background, and even their likely future actions. The FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit is one of the leading teams specializing in criminal profiling. In the case of the Unabomber, Theodore Kaczynski, investigators used profiling to narrow down the suspect pool based on the nature of the bombings and the killer's methods of communication. They were able to eventually link Kaczynski to the crimes after his manifesto was published, and his brother recognized the writing style. The use of profiling is not without its controversies, though. It's easy to fall into the trap of stereotypes or biases, and there is always a risk that a profiler's assumptions could mislead an investigation. The pressure of media and public opinion. One of the most challenging aspects of high-profile criminal investigations is dealing with media pressure and public opinion. These cases often attract significant media attention, which can lead to public speculation, misinformation, and even interference with the investigation. Law enforcement agencies must navigate this landscape carefully, balancing the need for public awareness with the importance of keeping sensitive details under wraps. A well-known case that was heavily influenced by media pressure was the John Bennett Ramsey murder investigation. When the 60-year-old beauty queen was found dead in her family's Boulder, Colorado home in 1996, the media quickly turned the case into a nationwide spectacle. The Ramseys, particularly John Bennett's parents, were heavily scrutinized, with some media outlets accusing them of involvement in the crime. The media frenzy made it difficult for investigators to focus on the evidence, and the case remains unsolved. Media pressure can also complicate the investigation itself. In the Casey Anthony trial, where Anthony was accused of murdering her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee, the trial was broadcast live, and the public's reaction to the case led to intense scrutiny of both the prosecution and the defense. The court of public opinion often shapes how investigations and trials unfold, adding a layer of complexity for investigators who must keep their focus on the facts. Cold cases. How persistence brings justice. Many high-profile criminal investigations take years, even decades, to solve. Cold cases are those that remain unsolved for long periods, often due to a lack of evidence, witnesses, or breakthroughs. But advances in technology, forensic science, and law enforcement perseverance have led to the resolution of many cold cases. Take the case of the Golden State Killer, Joseph DeAngelo, who was responsible for 13 murders and dozens of rapes across California in the 1970s and 1980s. The case remained cold for decades, but in 2018, investigators used genetic genealogy to track down DeAngelo. This technique allowed them to use DNA found at the crime scenes to trace his relatives and eventually pinpoint the killer. DeAngelo was arrested and later confessed to the crimes. Another example is the Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway, who murdered at least 49 women in the 1980s and 1990s. Despite being a prime suspect for many years, Ridgway was not arrested until 2001, when DNA evidence finally linked him to the murders. His case is a testament to how persistence and new forensic techniques can eventually lead to justice, even for cases that initially seem unsolvable. Cold cases are a reminder that even when it seems like a case has gone cold, law enforcement will continue to work behind the scenes, often for years, to bring justice to the victims and their families, changing the game. In today's digital world, technology has fundamentally changed the way criminal investigations are carried out. From sophisticated hacking techniques to digital forensics, technology is at the heart of modern crime solving. In high-profile cases, like the hacking of Sony Pictures in 2014, investigators used advanced digital forensics to trace the perpetrators. Cybercriminals infiltrated the company's systems and leaked sensitive data, and law enforcement worked tirelessly to track the perpetrators, eventually linking the attack to North Korean hackers. Technology also plays a critical role in tracking down fugitives. Tools like facial recognition software, license plate readers, and social media tracking are helping law enforcement agencies monitor suspects and identify individuals even in real time. In cases like the capture of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, these technologies were essential in tracking the notorious drug lord's movements and helping authorities finally apprehend him. High-profile criminal investigations often seem like scenes straight out of movies, full of twists, turns, and unexpected breakthroughs. However, the secrets behind these cases are grounded in a mix of advanced technology, relentless perseverance, and a well-coordinated effort between law enforcement agencies. From forensic science to profiling and surveillance, each investigation is a complex puzzle that requires multiple tools and strategies to solve. If you found this inside look into high-profile criminal investigations fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you for watching, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.